You're listening to The World at 8 with Lynn Mozart. The World at 8, the number one in nationalist news.
Highlights of the news today, the 8th of February. 7-year sentence for a group of Muslim men who had been handing out leaflets saying gay people should be hanged, stoned and burnt to death. Argentina is about to make its formal complaint over what they call as a militarisation of the Falkland Islands. A Polish immigrant construction worker has been convicted of raping an 18-year-old girl. The Eurozone is still in a twist over Greece. 9 people have been killed in a missile attack in a region near the Afghan border. A national unity government is being called for to help the situation within the Maldives. And thought for the day. UK news. The Unite Against Fascism group failed to send its Great Unwashed to protest against a group of Muslim men who had been arrested for handing out leaflets saying gay people should be hanged, stoned and burnt to death. The men who handed out the leaflets were charged with hate crimes after putting the leaflets through doors and handing them to people in the street, particularly to other Muslims. The men are named as Ijaz Ali, aged 42, Kabir Ahmed, aged 28 and Razwan Javed, also aged 28. 2 more men escaped prison. The gang was jailed for up to 7 years. These men wanted a Sharia law area of Derby set up only for Muslims, making it a no-go area for anyone else. However, on Monday, against a backdrop of Liverpool this week, the disgusting Labour and government-backed and sponsored UAF actually turned up to protest against men who themselves were protesting against the 47-strong Muslim paedophile rape gang who had been obviously ushered out of the area where they live and apparently sent to a safe house in Liverpool. The protesters were honest men and women, all with their own families, but the UAF would rather be on the side of paedophiles, as long as they are Muslim of course, other than on the side of the white working and middle class man, one spectator commented. The backdoor pass into Britain, the European Court of Human Rights, which gives rights to hate speakers like Abu Qatada, could soon also be used by the Marxists set up to set free the dreaded Abu Hamza from jail. Reports say that the hate-speaking Abu Hamza, who is enjoying the comforts of a British jail cell, could win bail and be free to carry on his rantings of hate. Both men were put behind bars as terror suspects. Argentina is about to make its formal complaint over what they call a militarisation of the Falkland Islands, which the Argentinians think they actually own. The complaint, which sees Argentina go running to the United Nations for help, will not affect the support our forces are getting for protecting British sovereignty. A Polish immigrant construction worker enjoying a British man's job has been convicted of raping an 18-year-old girl, a Southampton court has heard. Sebastian Grilowski targeted the young girl because she had been drinking. He subjected her to a degrading type of rape before fleeing the scene. The rapist approached the girl from behind as she staggered through a street in Manchester. The judge sent him down and ordered that he will be deported back to Poland when his sentence is finished. Euronews. The Eurozone is still in a twist over Greece. The country that was doing well until its government dipped its toes into the Eurozone, which has seen clashes between its people and Greek security forces over the last year. The planned meeting failed last night due to a fiasco with paperwork that was not delivered on time. This was said to have caused the leaders no time to deal with the pressing issues. In one part of Greece, workers are putting up barbed wire fences to keep asylum seekers and illegals out of their country, reports are saying. World news. The Pakistani security forces have announced that 9 people have been killed in a missile attack in a region near the Afghan border. The missile was fired from a United States drone aircraft and hit a house, killing the 9 people inside. US-Pakistani relations have been treading on thin line since the last US drone attack, killing Pakistani forces near the border with Afghanistan recently. In more scenes of violence, the Syrian leader's opposition forces have been under attack during the night by shelling in Homs. The opposition forces say that 47 people have been killed in the continuing violence in Syria. Top lawmakers in Egypt are blaming the Interior Minister after more deaths of Egyptian civilians in clashes with the military. They say that some of the people in power are still loyal to the previous leader, Hosni Mubarak, who was toppled last year. Riot police killed protesters in a 5-day clash in Cairo this week. A national unity government is being called for to help with the situation within the Maldives. The country, which is in the Indian Ocean, has undergone a new regime change recently, and reports say that the previous leader is being watched at an undisclosed location surrounded by soldiers and security forces. Thought for the day. The police force is my thought for the day. Poor devils. I do feel sorry for them, really. If they are lucky enough to get in on the new less white, more ethnic quota, they will have to grovel, take on a cloak of diverseness and multi-ethnic preference, which they might not adhere to in reality, eat humble pie when communist-inspired multicultural types come straight from university and take their place at the top of the dung heap. All not only to stay in the force, but to get the small pension at the finish of service. To this particular end they are literally blackmailed into being people they are not, and certainly not what the British Bobby was years ago. I do not believe it is the policeman's fault he has to arrest anybody who is white and who is protesting. It isn't his fault he has to kowtow to the ethnics amongst us, primarily the Muslims. In a disgusting show in Liverpool this week, the UAF, in case you do not know what this stands for, it is Unite Against Fascism. Well, I could think of many names it could be, but my nationalist friends, that is that. Well, they decided to protest against our people who were protesting against the 47 Muslim males who have been accused of operating a grooming gang, and they have been moved so they could be safe. Now, in the old world of policing, they would have been in holding cells and probably all committed suicide at the same time, my lord. Well done, I say. But now, oh no, they are actually protected by the people we pay to protect us and the poor little girls they have been raped and groomed. No self-respecting police officer even 20 years ago would have stood under this particular banner, regardless of colour or creed. But now it seems that colour and creed is gaining more importance in the police and legal world. Buyers beware. If you get done for speeding, and believe it my friends, speeding is more important than terrorism, gang grooming, murder and theft, especially if the speedy one is white, then please, please do not say you are a member of the British National Party. It will get blown out of all proportion in the only sort of publicity we get now to read, and I quote, "Loner, far right wing, lives alone and has dirty magazines and guns, caught speeding over the 30-mile-an-hour limit. Neighbours say he didn't look the type to do this crime," blah blah blah, whilst usually quoting your age and house price value at the same time. I have a friend whose son actually wants to go into the police force. He is currently in the specials but hopes to make it to the real thing. I have advised her to tell him gently that he will never make it. Why? He is white, educated, fit and healthy, with no hang-ups, and certainly not a racist of any sort of description, but he will not get in. If by some fluke he does, they will turn him into the sort of plod we all now know and loathe, a talking robot with no thoughts at all in his head other than those the establishment put there, a multi-ethnic report-obsessed nightmare and a nightmare for British justice in the long haul. I would just love to see when these filthy anarchists, the unwashed UAF and the Muslim protesters are all together protesting against protest, the police parcel them all up and pack them off somewhere very far from Blighty, preferably the countries most came from and the rest want to see Britain become. There, no more of these sorts of protesters. As you can gather, I hate these protesters, especially in a world where there's so little for these particular people to protest about. See, Mr. Policeman, problem solved. And now you can have time for the great British public and their problems. And finally, reports are coming in this morning that England manager Fabio Capello is standing by his team captain John Terry. It is said that the Italian-born England manager will face the FA today after openly questioning the FA why John Terry should be stripped of his England captaincy. Marxism has got its dirty hands on everything we see as British people have ever enjoyed, one BNP spokesperson has said. They control us if we smoke, control how many pubs we have, and now control our national game. You have been listening to The World at 8. I am Lynn Mozart, and I wish you all a very good night.